Do you ever want to just clean your house, but you can't because you get distracted with silly little other things like watching TV or scrolling through your phone? This procrastinatory behaviour that we undertake to avoid doing the important or challenging things in life is a web of intrigue that we place over our own thinking and ability to get things done. It's a web because it's so interconnected with so many different parts of our lives. And it's intriguing because it doesn't make sense why we would sabotage our own lives in this way. If we really want to do something, we should just do it. We shouldn't delay. But we get entangled in this elaborate net of avoidance behaviours to avoid doing those really important things. There is this web of intrigue that we create for ourselves to avoid doing the things that we really want to do. When we get stuck in this web of intrigue, we prevent a clear path forward. And I get so angry when I get caught up in this web, when I've got important things I've got to get done. But I spend my time doing silly little things like crossword puzzles or scrolling through the phone. Let me give you an example. October 1, 2015. I just headed back to uni and my first assignment was due on the 2nd of October, which happens to be my birthday every year. And it was midday, the day before the assignment was due, and I hadn't even started it yet. I wasted a few more hours. By 4 p.m, said to myself, I'm going into uni and I'm going to stay there until it's done. I worked through the night, and by 5:30 in the morning, it was ready. I submitted it, well in advance of the 9 a.m. deadline. But I was exhausted, so I headed home and slept for most of the day. And I ruined my 27th birthday, sleeping. There is this web of intrigue that we create for ourselves to avoid doing the important things we really need to do. When we get stuck in this web of intrigue, it prevents a clear path forward. So I was walking across the campus to my car, UWA in Crawley, and at 5:30 a.m, it was a bit creepy. It was creepy crawly. And bang, I'd walked into a spider web. And I'm sure some of us have done that. It's awful. It's the worst feeling. And you're looking for another type of creepy crawly, crawling somewhere over your body. And you just got to get all the spider web off your face. So whatever you might be doing, wherever you might be going, which was the more important task, you get distracted with this silly little other task, which is getting the spider webs off and making sure there's no spider crawling on you. Another example. My maternal grandparents are from Germany, from a little town called Brilon. And they came to Australia in 1969. And I'm reliably informed, when they came to Australia, they couldn't speak a lot of English. But by the 1990s, when I was a little kid, their English was pretty good. So I could have conversations with Opa and Oma. But I always wanted to learn to speak Deutsch, their German language, their native language. But I thought, well, I could go over to Germany and learn to speak German over there, go to Brilon, see some of the ancestral root areas and meet some family. Or I could learn German in Australia first, so at least when I get there I've got some level of conversational German and I can get myself around. But it turned into this chicken or egg thing. Do I learn German first and then go to Germany, or do I go to Germany, learn German over there? In the end, still haven't achieved either. So and unfortunately, Opa and Oma are no longer with us, so my procrastination prevented that opportunity of speaking to my grandparents in their mother tongue. There is this web of intrigue that we create for ourselves to avoid doing the things that we really want to do. When we get stuck in this web of intrigue, it prevents a clear path forward. Now, I'm a serial procrastinator. I practice it all the time. I'm really good at it. I'm a pro procrastinator. In fact, I reckon if there were world rankings for procrastination, I'd be right up there. But the Association of Procrastination Professionals, well, they've never even got around to forming their organisation. But look, it's affected every part of my life. No part of my life is really untouched. Academically, definitely. At work, before going to work, you betcha. Before exercising, definitely, absolutely. And before going to bed at night, yes indeed. No part of my life is untouched. And we now have the most powerful device for procrastination, the smartphone. It's connected to the web, and it's got thousands of intriguing things to distract us. And you might be focused in on a task, sitting at a desk or at a table, working on something, and a notification pops up. And that's it. That's all it takes. You're distracted. Could be, it's like a fly flying through the air, stuck in a web, just like that. And that fly might be trying to get its own little fly to-do list done, and it gets stuck, and it's just got to worry about survival from then on. One last example. So this past Sunday, it's an activity I'm sure many of us are familiar with, grocery shopping. All animals need food. I'm an animal, I had got low on food, so I needed to go grocery shopping. But before I went, I had to develop a shopping list. What sort of food did I want? Secondly, what sort of reusable shopping bags was I going to take? How many? What size? This had to be worked out first. And then, because I'm such an efficient, productive individual, I was going to get some other errands done on this shopping trip. Pick up the dry cleaning, or maybe refuel the car, something like that. So I'd come up with a list of errands. Sunday, it was after 5 p.m, Woolies and Coles had closed. I wasn't able to get my shopping done. Why did I go to IGA, you might ask? Well, I don't think they've got a good range of produce. Why don't I go to Spudshed? I don't think they've got a good range of anything. And why don't we go to Aldi? Well, I think we should support Australian business. But I'm not up here endorsing particular supermarkets. It's just saying these are the shops that I like to go to, Coles, Woolies. I was unable to get my shopping done. So my procrastination had prevented me even getting food stocks for myself. There is this web of intrigue that we create for ourselves to avoid doing the things that we really need to do. When we get stuck in this web of intrigue, it prevents our clear path forward. But I get so angry when I get stuck in this web. I've got a long to-do list, things I've got to tick off, important things in work, in personal, in social. I've got to get these things done, and I get stuck so easily. I get distracted. I say to myself, Ben, get into it. Stop wasting time. Just start something. Once you get started, it'll be easier. Inertia. Once you start rolling, you'll be fine. But it's just always getting stuck in this web of intrigue. So what can we do about this? Now, I'm clearly no expert. As you can see, I'm still battling with this every single day. But I've got some ideas. I've come up with some things here. So, procrastination is a long, complex P word. And I recommend we address it with some smaller P words. Plan. When you have a clear plan, it's much harder to procrastinate. Progress over perfection. So if we're always focused on doing things perfectly, that's a real leader to procrastination. If we focus on just progressing things, big complex tasks, pushing them forward a little each day, we can focus on that. We're much likely to get started and make progress day by day. And finally, practice. Practice planning every day and practice progress over perfection. And I think if we can focus on that planning, clear planning, if we can focus on progress over perfection, pushing things forward a little each day, and practice. If we can practice these things, I reckon we can overcome that web of intrigue Avoid getting stuck in that web of intrigue of procrastination. But I'll get onto that tomorrow.